Students engage in group activities to enhance their communication and leadership skills. In some cases, conflicts such as competition within the group arises. Today, with our panelists, Sam, Christian, Lander, Patrick, Edward, and Sai, we will explore the possible solutions to address the competition within a group to keep it from totally falling apart. But to start, let us discuss how we define competition.
Competition, in my research, as Koser said, competition is a struggle over the positions or status, or competition is a struggle between two different ideas and perceptions in which the competing party aims to remove or eliminate the other competing parties. That's all.
Anybody else has a definition for competition?
Under that context, I think we can see that competition is a bad thing. But according to Professor Nef Botor, competition is a positive tool for group interaction. When taken into class context, we can say that competition is a good thing because we are forced to level up, we are forced to increase the amount of effort we put in an activity. But taken into an intergroup context, it becomes a counterproductive action for interactions within the same group.
Now, do you find these causes of competition reasonable when competitions happen within the group?
You're asking if the causes are reasonable. What are the causes that you were able to find out?
Yun yung sila yung conflicting ideas.
I too. In the causes, there are two probable causes. The first one is because of the position. And three. There are three. And the second one is the human basic needs, over the shelter, food, or human needs. And the third is values and beliefs.
I think we should hone into group activities rather than competition itself. Because under that definition, we are taking the class activity out of context. Because the question here is group within a class, am I right? Yes. How about you, Lander? What can you say about competition?
According to Merriam-Webster, competition is the act or process of trying to get or win something that the other person or the other group is trying to get or win.
So what are the causes that we find for competition in group setting? One that I find, according to Sir Nekbator, is the lack or improper introduction to the rules of the activity. For example, if the group they are not clear about the instruction on how on the conduct of the activity itself, they might find themselves competing for one another because they think that the grades or how they will be judged is individually and not by group. Ergo, causing competition because they don't know that the same grade will be given to all of them instead of individually.
And do we find this subjective to solution? Or
Well, if you're putting into context the cause that I found, which is improper instruction, that is very much solvable, I think. Are there any other causes that you found?
With connection on the cause that you've stated, my research is a study by Bornstein, and it showed that the group performance typically falls short of its potential performance, as estimated from the capabilities of the individual group members. This means that competition arises because each group member have their different capabilities, but in a group they are still changing and.
So you're saying that the limitations of one member pulls the other?
Yes.
Am I right? So we can add that to the other causes. Besides improper instruction, we can say the abilities of the members.
We could also say that the members could also think of their personal interest rather than cooperating on the group as a cause, because it has been stated by Egas and others.
So we have 3.
I think one possible cause could be against their culture. The side, I mean, one of one of the possible solutions thought by a certain group of people is somehow against on the belief of one person, depending on their religion or their culture or where they were born. So I think one of the possible cause is the culture of the person. Cultural differences. I mean, yeah.
Any other cause?
I think we have 4, which is improper instruction, abilities of the members, personal interests, and cultural differences. I think most of them are subject to solution. How do we solve it? Is this cultural difference subject to solution?
I don't think so because the mindset of the group members, it's hard to change, especially the culture and their beliefs.
But then how do you handle instances like that when members have different cultural beliefs?
Wouldn't it fall short right under improper instruction, or rather inappropriate instruction that does not cover or does not take into account cultural differences? Shouldn't the activity first, before being sent or being given to the group, consider that the group is culturally diverse? But I like the point that we should consider that as a separate problem though. So, what's the next question?
Consequences of the group.
Consequences of the group falling apart. To the individual, I guess, it's inability. To the group, it's the inability to achieve the goal, or at least producing a mediocre performance in achieving their goal.
That's an individual level.
Group, yeah.
Group.
I think one of the consequences to the individual is that they won't be making an effort on doing they won't be exerting effort anymore since they are feeling that the group isn't cooperating well and he may have a possible mindset he may have a possible way of thinking that the group will not reach anything or will not do anything good if the group falls.
However, didn't we just state on the first definition of competition that it is a means to surpass the other? So isn't that counter to what we're just trying to say, that competition causes a mediocre or not well performed action to achieve the goal?
Yeah, that's what I said. The performance of the individual will be affected since the group. There's competition within the group. A while ago, Sir Edward stated that competition is subjective and it can be good or bad as you stated a while ago. But within the group, competition is bad as said because the group is already working as one. Why should there be a competition?
Now we've already discussed our definition of competition, and we have identified 4 causes for the arising of competitions within the group, which are improper instruction, different capabilities, personal interests, and cultural differences. Now, having identified these causes, what do you think can we do to address the competition given these causes? We can give what do you call this? We can give solutions for each.
Maybe for the first cause, maybe the group can properly, the first cause is the improper instruction. Maybe the group can properly give the instructions to the members. So,
Alright, then how do you do that? How do you properly give the instruction?
maybe the moderator of the group can give it to them.
One of the points that Sir Nekbotar said on the interview is that sometimes the members of the group forget that they will be judged as a group and not individually, which is the main reason for improper instruction. The instructor itself did not clarify that the group will be judged as a collaborative performance and not individually. So how do we solve that? Then simply by addressing or questioning specific points under the instruction. Am I right? And reminding each member that they will be graded as a group and not in individual performances.
Alright. How about differences in capabilities?
I think they should not force consensus because there might be differences and we cannot adjust. The group cannot adjust to that because not everyone has the same belief. So they might just compromise on a universal sense, a universal decision, so that the other beliefs won't be affected or won't be offended.
On the study where that cause came from, Bernstein and his group address this competition by having these subgroups make their own decisions, but at the end of the day, they must consult and have either of those solutions as the group's final solution.
So what you're trying to say is that they will be working apart. Then before, maybe a day or 2 days before the said presentation, they will be deciding on which of the two will they be using.
Yes, that's what on the studies.
But in that context, we did not address the competition. We simply choose which one of the competing groups are better.
So the competition is still there.
Yes, the competition is still there. The difference is we choose, if we use that method, we simply choose between the two. Which in essence is just perpetuating competition more. Because the next time they'll be trying to compete better. Because that is the nature of competition, trying to outdo the other.
And I assume that not all members will be agreeing with the decision of the many.
And any other solutions?
I think the group should manage the conflicts actively. I mean, from time to time, so that the conflict won't go bigger, so that they can manage it well.
Conflicts that won't go bigger.
And when it comes to personal interests being the cause of the competition,
Who proposed this as one of the possible causes?
I think what I researched is that they should make adjustments since it's personal. So they should adjust for the group since they are working on a group, not individually.
so what you're saying is the person or the individual should set aside.
His personal
It's
interest.
personal interest.
Yeah.
So in this case, the action should be taken by the member of the group and not the facilitator. Because under that assumption, personal interest will be addressed, the problem of personal interest will be addressed by the member itself. But the improper instruction, if we go back, will be addressed by the facilitator, and the abilities of the members will be addressed by... I'm sorry, I'm trying to specify what type of action and who will take the action.
And the
Okay.
facilitator
That we
will,
shall discuss later.
Okay.
the facilitator will remind the members that the group that they will be graded as a group, and it's the part of the members to take into
Take that into consideration.
take that into consideration that
Okay.
they will,
That it is actually a group activity and not.
not
And then-
some individual.
Now we can
This is a big one, cultural difference.
which you in your answer professors actually associated with difference in capabilities. Right? Yeah, do you have any other solutions for handling cultural differences in group activities?
What type of cultural differences causes competition?
Yeah, let's give an example or an instance.
Religion is a very sensitive topic, so let's not put that there.
Yeah.
What other aspects of culture that causes competition?
But going back to our discussion earlier, you have mentioned that this should be taken in consideration in the part of, for example, the professor when he is giving the instructions or the actual activity. That
It should be made clear.
yeah, it shouldn't what do you call this, involve differences in religion, for example.
I am suddenly reminded of the way we create an audience analysis for our speech. Why shouldn't such method be adopted in taking actions for cultural differences? If you are a professor or you are the one conducting the activity, you should at least know your audience and know the basics of their culture. For example, how many among them are of Christian faith, how many of them are Muslim faith. So, a possible action for cultural difference is an audience analysis. Yes.
I think it's outside our scope because it's on the part of facilitator, not the group. Because we're solving the group. Inside the group, not outside the group. It's beyond the limitations that we set.
But isn't that the same thing we did for improper instructions? We also put the professor in.
In improper instructions, the group can always clarify to the facilitator what the instruction clearly is. But in that part, it's the part of the facilitator, not the group.
Okay. I get it. I'm sorry, I did not realize we were limiting ourselves to the actions that can be taken by the group members. I thought we included everything that included the activity itself. I'm sorry. Carrying on.
Hi, I'm Edward, and these are the 6 favorable speech Comm speakers. The emotional.
Video games. Video games.
The amnesiac.
My name is Sam, and I'm about to talk about. Hi! Shit.
The mute. The dancer.
Live in a banyan with two chicks. She spent the time.
The robot.
Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Red Riding Hood. Hi, my name is Christian Dia.
The chill.
The moment you got out of bed, they from the
These are the 6 favorable speech Comm speakers.
So now we have identified the solutions, the possible solutions. Now, how do we choose the best solution?
I think the solution should be beneficial for the majority, if not everyone.
Alright, so that's the first criteria. It should be beneficial to all. Okay. Anything else?
It should also not damage the original group's goal. So they should stick to the goal.
Alright, so first it should be beneficial to all, and then we should focus on the goal. Anything else we can set as a criteria in choosing the best solution.
we should be able, I think one possible characteristics for criteria we should consider for solution is that we should be able to conduct it at any point per time within the activity of the group. I mean, as a troubleshooting option, the solution can be conducted in the beginning, during, or at near end of the activity itself.
Right, so that is in consideration with the when
Yes. It shouldn't be, what's the right word? It should be feasible to adopt at any point in time.
Alright, so is that it? We have 3 criteria. Feasible.
I think another one is that all the members of the group should approve of the solution.
Consensus.
Is time already considered?
Yes.
Feasibility.
It's not the feasibility.
But if you have another angle. Okay, so now that we have stated these criteria, we now move on to choosing the best solution. So one has stated that it should be there should be consensus in choosing the solution. So in all the solutions that we have identified, which do you think is the best solution? So we have identified that instruction can be clarified, and then the one which Christian shared, where the group there were 2 proposed what do you call this? 2 proposed activities.
Solutions per subgroup. Then the whole group will decide on themselves what to be used for the whole group.
Okay, and then we can also set aside personal biases. Now, taking in consideration the criteria that we've given, which solution do you think is the best one for our problem?
I think we can combine the solutions because it addresses different causes. So if we choose only one solution, it will only address one cause. So if we can combine them, it's better so that we can solve the problem holistically.
How do we do that?
But I guess Christian's suggested solution might not work because it will only intensify the competition.
Alright. So right now we have setting aside personal biases and clarifying the instruction. Do we all agree that that's what should we do? That's what we should do. We will combine the solutions that we have.
Yes, why choose among the solutions if we can use the better hybrid of them? Yeah. Or are there any other conditions? Yes, we all agree that we should combine the solutions.
Then we should check that solution to what we have just set as criteria. Do you think it will be feasible?
It should be beneficial to all.
I think we should add to one of the solution. As we may know, one of the solution is instructions should be clarified. Not only should be clarified, it must be understood by everyone. It must be, while clarifying the instruction, every member must agree. I mean, for example, you're the one who's explaining the instruction. Your goal is to get everyone's or all of your members' affirmation. Your goal is to assure that that all of your members are understand what you're saying. That's
That you're
one
all,
way of-
we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
So the addresser is setting aside differences and also the clear instructions.
Yes.
So, clearly stating the solution that we choose for our problem, which is competition within the group. So how would we state it properly?
Clarifying instructions and assuring that every member is on the same page.
Yes.
Alright.
And what's the other solution? Combine. That's one of the solutions.
Well,
That's
that's
That's already
That's
designated.
Yeah. So we have identified our solution as clarifying the instruction and setting aside personal biases. Now, moving on, how do we implement this? Who are the key actors in this solution?
The group members and specifically the leader.
Alright, can we please expound on the roles of the key actors? What is, as a member, what can we do to implement this solution?
I think the member should also be willing to solve the problem, and they should cooperate. And the leader should know the members well, and he should be critical in solving the problem.
Alright. So the leader should be critical in solving the problem or addressing the members. Okay.
By doing so, by doing so, we have already achieved our solution, which is as the leader giving instructions to his members that the members have all compromised to do that instruction, thus addressing the competition.
Alright, so in the part of the leader towards his members, how do you think can he or she encourage his members to participate?
I think he should make the goals clear to everyone, so that everyone understands clearly what they are heading, where they are heading to, and he should also tell them that the goals can only be achieved by giving 100% cooperation on the group.
Yes, we've already identified the solution, which is to clarify instruction and to set aside personal biases. We are just pointing out who is the main actor to implement the solution, and that we've set a leader. According to the interview from Sir Neff, the probable reasons for competition is that there is an absence of a leader, or there are too many leaders. Now that we've set a actor for implementation, I think we've answered that question.
Alright, so anything else you'd like to add? Alright, so that's it. Our solution, our chosen solution for our problem, which is addressing the competition within the group so that we don't totally fall apart, is that we should clarify the instructions and that we should set aside our personal biases. And in our discussion, we have seen the importance of the role of the leader in keeping the group together, especially when conflicts like this arise, and that the leader should always remind his members to keep focusing on their goals rather than their personal interests, and that there should always be consensus and understanding among the members, so that there would be equal participation or effective teamwork. Right. So that's it. That's how we have yeah, that's how we came up with the solution. And thank you for watching our panel discussion.